Second Cup, brought to you by the Nickel Plate. Sit, sip, savor, and shop. Hey guys, good morning. Happy Tuesday. And yes, thank you to the Nickel Plate, which of course sponsors Second Cup. We're glad to have you with us this morning. Got a lot of stuff to get to, a lot of guests with me this morning. Again, it's going to be another big day. We are going to start though by talking about those Bills. How about that game last night? That was pretty incredible. What I want you to do right now, if you're with us, let us know your favorite part of yesterday's game. What impressed you the most? What play did you like the best? That's what we want to talk about. We also want to know how you're feeling about the upcoming Ravens game. We only have 5 days to get ready for that. So without further ado, let's bring in our first guest. We have Sports Director Matt Bove with us this morning. Good morning, Matt. Thanks for joining.
Morning, Kamo. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm tired. I'm very, very, very tired, but that comes with it. That's fine.
Number one, what's most important here? How's that sweet little baby? She's so sweet.
Sweet little baby is up in her crib right now waiting for dad to come get her. So yeah, no, she's
Okay.
she's the best though.
So we only get Matt for a couple of minutes. Matt, you got to tell us, what were your takeaways from this game last night? What a game.
The Bills are good. I mean, we knew the Bills were good. I guess we just didn't know how good they are. I think last night is more about the Bills being good than it is about the Jags being bad. Both things can be true, but I think the Bills are dominant in a lot of ways. I think they're good on both sides of the ball. I think Josh Allen is the legitimate front runner to win MVP. I think defensively they have made some really big plays, even with all the injuries they've had. This is a good football team. This is a good football team that can hang with anybody and they can accomplish a lot. And we've said that for several years now. Something about this feels a little different, though. Maybe it just is like, maybe last year was the step back. Maybe it wasn't this year. And I think Bills fans should be very, very happy with what their team has done early on.
Oh, I like to hear Matt Bove say that this year feels a little bit different. That's kind of exciting to me, Matt. So
Yeah.
A lot of people are chiming in saying their favorite part. Well, someone says here, Linda says the whole game was my favorite. I like that. But a couple of people saying DeMar's interception was their favorite part of the game. And you know what? To have that on Monday Night Football, like what a moment for him.
Yeah, it's so cool. I mean, I think back to that Monday night game in Cincinnati. That was the last time he started a football game on Monday Night Football. And he was thinking about it. He brought it up after the game. So this has to be an incredibly emotional moment for him. And I think the way the fans embraced him after the play happened, the way his teammates embraced him, that was just like a really cool moment to be a small part of being inside the stadium, just because you know what this guy has gone through. Now, we are not there with him in the doctor's appointments, in the rehab, and all of those things. But to know what he had happen and then to get to the point where he's playing is just simply remarkable. So I think that's a really, really cool story on top of a really good night for the Bills.
Marguerite says, Matt, you're tired today. Just wait until that 8:30 game next week. So we've got 5 days until we take on the Ravens. What are you thinking about getting ready for that next game? And the Ravens are what? They're 1-2 or 2-1?
They're 1-2, but do not let their record be any indication that they are not a legitimate top team in the NFL. The Bills are going into this game as the slight underdogs, and they just won by 37 points, and the Ravens have a losing record. On the road, Sunday Night Football, going against the reigning MVP, Lamar Jackson, even though it should be Josh Allen for what it's worth. They're a very good defense. They've got some good playmakers. This is going to be a really tough game for the Bills. But what I think is so impressive about the Bills' start is that they have given themselves a little bit of a wiggle room. They've given themselves some margin for error. You're 3-0. If you lose a game or two, it is not the end of the world. You're not playing catch up because you've kind of built this buffer. The Bills' schedule, when it comes out in May. The first 6 games looked super daunting. And a lot of people, myself included, said, if you go 3-3 to start the season, you really are setting yourself up for success. Well, they're 3-0. So now go into these next 3 games, win 1 or 2 of them, and you are going to be, fighting for the 1 seed in the AFC. They're very good. The Ravens are good too, but this Bills team can hang with anybody. That is how good they are right now.
Okay, let me tell you one of my favorite moments from last night was watching Keon Coleman get his touchdown. And then he kind of hung onto the ball because I thought, like, what a memento for him. Like, what a cute thing. But, Matt, we didn't see him for the start of the game. And then we kind of learned why afterwards. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, so Keon Coleman was basically benched at the beginning of the game for tardiness. So he was late to something. I don't know if it was a meeting. I don't know if it was a practice. I don't know if it was showing up to the game. Sean McDermott told us that, like, this is something that we needed to address, and we did. And then he gets out onto the field in the second quarter and catches a touchdown on the third play he was on the field. So it was nice to see him respond with a big play and a big moment. That's not something you want to see, a rookie having an issue with getting there on time. But maybe this will kind of send a message to him of like, hey, that's unacceptable. And he didn't get to play in the first quarter because of it. So I think he's wired the right way, just from my limited interactions with him. I think that this is going to be something that he learns from and he's better because of.
It's one of those things where, like, especially when you're younger, you're saying, and you're starting your career, accountability is a big thing. I mean, we learned that as we were younger in our career. And I think you're right. Like, I like how that's kind of probably going to sit with him and realize that there are consequences at times. But then look at, he came out and he tried his hardest,
Well, think about young Matt Bove and young Katie Morse showing up to Channel 7 all of those years ago. We were probably late or probably making mistakes, and, we learn from them and we try and move them. We just make different mistakes now, just different mistakes.
It's so funny. We still identify as young Matt Bove and young Katie Morse, even though the years have gone by. Isn't that right?
Speak for yourself, Katie. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm still very young.
Exactly. All right. Yeah. Melly says, Keon. She also says, hey, Bove, glad to have you here this morning. Anita says, so refreshing to hear such positive things being said about the Bills and the fans as well as Buffalo. Yeah. I mean, it's always a big deal to have one of those national games, Matt.
Yeah. What a vibe. Yesterday was, the day started dreary. It was a rainy day. On my way to the stadium, I didn't notice a lot of traffic or a lot of tailgating, but it was like 2:00. I think people were a little bit late upon arrival for the game. They probably worked on a Monday, which is totally understandable. But once the game started, that place had juice. There was energy. And then the team on the field gave them a reason to be even louder. I was listening to a little podcast this morning with the guys who called the game last night, and they were talking about the atmosphere, and they were like, yeah, that was very, very legit. And it is. I mean, Bills games are different, so it's not like this all over the NFL. There's not games that have this much energy that often.
So much fun. All right, so Bove, everybody's glad to have you. Connie wants to know, are you going to be back at 4:30?
Yeah, Connie, I'm going to be back at 4:30. My day consists of going and getting the baby right now. We're going to hang out for the morning, and then I will drop her off at my mother-in-law's. I'm going to come into work. We've got Studio 7 at 4:30, probably be on the news at 5, be on the news at 6, and then leading the charge at 7, and then be on the news again at 11, and then try and fit somewhere into that a little bit of sleep. But we shall see.
Okay.
I'm on like 2.5 hours right now, Katie. So we're dragging a bit.
You know who doesn't care that you're on 2.5 hours?
You?
That sweet baby.
No, she does not
care.
I was gonna say you. No,
she
does not care. And I'm gonna go up there. And so right now, like our morning routine, because my wife is already on her way to work, is I make her breakfast, and she gets fruit, and then she'll get a scrambled egg. And the minute I give her her fruit, she's already asking for her eggs. And the minute that I give her her egg, she's asking for her bottle. And I'm just like, dude, you just got to calm down a little bit. I'm only one person.
But you know what? I'm hearing that you've got a great routine, Matt.
We're trying. I mean, we're doing our best. I don't know if we're doing well, but we're doing our best.
You're not just doing well. You're doing fantastic. All right, we're going to let you go get her. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we let you go?
Bills are good. They're good. I mean, listen, it's 3 games. It's the start of the season. They got a long way to go. It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. You can hit any cliche that you possibly want, but you cannot start a season much better than this. They're going to get healthier on defense. I think the best is in front of them, and Josh Allen is just one of the best players in the NFL. It sometimes is still a little surreal to me that the Bills have a quarterback who's that good. I mean, I started covering the team when they were not that good. So this is a very, very, very weird thing to be going through, but it's a good thing for sure.
He's so much fun to watch too, that's for sure. Matt Bove, thanks for joining us this morning. You know I appreciate you not getting a lot of sleep. Tell everybody in your house I said hi, okay, including your wife.
Thank you, Kamo. Thanks for having me this morning.
Bye, guys. Okay, so that was Matt Bove. We appreciate him joining us. I promised you a second guest, though, so don't worry. I've got somebody else who's waiting over here to chit-chat. We have Taylor here this morning, too. Now, please continue to let me know what you think about the Bills game, because everybody just loves talking about that here. Everybody is just saying it was so great. Connie said you couldn't even sleep after the game. Jason said, enjoy the baby years now for Matt because it goes by so fast. No kidding. Linda says the Sabres had a win, too, so a big day for Buffalo sports. So much fun. And Connie says hugs to that baby. Oh, Bov's baby's so sweet. Wait till you meet her in person.
She came in the office.
Did she?
Yes,
Oh, you got to meet
her. I think it was last Friday.
Isn't she cute?
She's so tiny.
She is such a cutie patootie. Well, what is this? Where did this piece of metal come from? That's always a good sign when you see something like that you don't know where it came from, just sitting there on the desk. Great. Okay, so Taylor, you're with us today because you're talking about what you did this morning.
Yes.
Which was you went out to Harvest House. So Harvest House on Buffalo's East Side doing this community baby shower. Great idea. So tell us about it and what they need.
Yes. Well, first, the people there were so sweet, so nice. You can tell how devoted and invested they are into their community, into the community that they're helping.
For sure.
So yeah, Harvest House. You first walk in, and it's almost like you're at like a store, like you're shopping, because they have all of the clothes spread out, like on clothing fixtures, and then they have like an inventory in the back, and they have tubs and things, everything you could think of.
And it kind of seemed like that was by design.
That was definitely by design. They made it very. I guess they really stressed like the importance of making the people who are coming there, like, it's okay to need help. It's okay to go and need those resources and not feel ashamed so when you first walk in, you see shopping carts,
right?
So you can get the shopping carts and kind of like take what you need. And obviously, it's free, but it's still the idea of, this, yes, it's, we're giving this to you, but it's not, it's just more of the concept.
And I love that.
That was great. It was the first thing I noticed when I walked in. So I was like, I definitely need to touch on that, which I did in the interview. So that was great. The CEO, Carol Murphy, and one of the board members met me there, Joe Soma. So they were so helpful, so passionate about the work they do. They have this baby shower drive for the month of September, but they collect the goods year round. And just are really pushing for these items for this month.
Yeah, they were saying like the summer gets really, really busy and their baby items kind of go really
seasonal,
quickly.
Yeah, and it's like a seasonal thing too. Now they're in the winter coats. It's about to be cold. They need less summer stuff and more of the winter stuff. And I think, that the season transition period is probably their critical times of year.
So here we've got a list right here of the things that Harvest House needs. So if you're able to donate, and you can donate at a bunch of different places too, right? There's like places.
Yeah, they have like 25 organizations that have been giving. There's churches all over Buffalo that have been helping out. They told me they have like a 23-foot tractor trailer coming to drop off goods next week. So it's a ton of good stuff coming for them.
Okay, so here's what they need. New and lightly used baby clothes, socks, diapers, all sizes, but they did give some specific ones, towels and washcloths, wipes, baby bottles, and baby lotions. Doesn't it just kind of break your heart knowing that people like need baby lotions, they need wipes, they need baby bottles, people go through tough times, but it's really hard to think, oh, I've got this new baby on the way. Like, as a parent, you want to have everything and give them everything and be able to provide everything. So this is really tough for a lot of people. So I'm so glad this is happening. Do they get a big response from the community?
Oh, absolutely. They say it's a family. They're so invested in the community, and the people that come to them, they trust them. They're able to feel welcome. They don't feel judged. And Carol was great about telling that. And in addition to the clothing drive and, the services they provide for that, also she mentioned that when they give the families the clothes for the children, they give them a week's worth of clothes.
Love that.
So they know that those families are typically most likely going to laundromats on the weekend. So they give them clothes to get them through the week for each child, for each child in the household.
Such a good idea. And kids run through clothes really quickly too. Sarah says, oh my God, I'm so glad you two are talking about this today. I was just talking to my husband about where to donate baby things. I have a ton of stuff to get rid of and I can't throw it out. So they'll take lightly used things, right?
They'll take lightly used. Obviously they have a standard for the items they're collecting, but that's perfect. They have those goods in there for that reason. So people can come. I mean, like you said, it kind of breaks your heart because you see newborn things like newborn clothing, newborn coats, and it's just so sad to see that that's like the basic necessities that there are communities in need for.
So Sherry was wondering, what sizes do they go to? They had some clothes for older kids too, right?
They said about like 14. They said they typically say like middle school age children. So newborn to middle
keep in mind, even if we're talking middle school age children, like they still might need some larger sizes.
Absolutely.
Like some people are just built a little bit bigger, right? So you might still need, larges, extra larges. So I have a feeling that if you brought them stuff, even if they couldn't use it, they'll find some sort of use for it.
Absolutely.
It seemed like that kind of organization. So Sarah, that's awesome. I'm really excited that you're going to be able to do that. Let us know if you end up doing that over at Harvest House. I just wanted to bring up a couple comments here because Howard just had a quick question wondering, How's your Buffalo journey going?
Oh, it's going great. I think having a job like this is almost ideal for someone in a new city because it's every day I'm out somewhere new in the community, meeting people, immersing myself, and just like connecting and trying to find my way around.
Yeah.
So far so good. I mean,
Great.
It's still a lot to learn and it's a process,
Yeah.
but Buffalo journey so far so good.
What do you think of the person you sit next to in the newsroom?
She's all right. To my left,
It's
you
me.
know.
Yeah, it's me.
She's been super helpful.
We sit right next to each other, which is great. So we can chit chat when she comes back from stories. It's been awesome. Julie says, listen, she likes to donate everything. If it can't be used, then at least somebody has the job of throwing it out. Julie, I'm with you. Like, I like to bring the stuff because sometimes you just don't know what they can use. And sometimes maybe they can do something with it that I'm not thinking about. Yeah. So, and then Connie was asking when it comes to donations, boys, girls, what size? It sounded like they were
newborn to that middle school age. But like you said, everything, they go through everything. They have a process and So anything, it sounds like for the most part, Connie, that would go up to middle school kids. So I guess the one thing I do think is like probably like women's work clothes probably wouldn't work as much, right? Because you're not giving like a middle school kid, here's a blazer. They're like, thanks. Not as common. So keep in mind, things like that kids would use here. But here's their community baby shower. We'll just read this one more time. New and lightly used baby clothes, socks, baby diapers, towels and washcloths, wipes, bottles, and lotion. And again, this is just for the baby shower, but they're taking donations. Yes. And she also said formula. That was a big one.
Formula is expensive. Yeah. Okay, great. So they need baby formula too. So keep that in mind if you're able to pick anything up. And then specifically, Sarah saying boys, girls, all things 3T and under. Awesome. Very exciting. Okay, so that's happening at Harvest House. Yes. Do you want to stick with me while I talk about scams?
Yeah, why not?
All right, Taylor's going to stick with us this morning. We have got to talk about these scams because I get so annoyed when I see all of these scams that pop up because I just know that there are people out there that are falling for them. Like I've had some of my friends who are obviously younger. They grew up with this stuff. They know what's happening. I had one of my girlfriends call me the one day and talk me through how she got totally scammed. Luckily, she didn't end up following through with it because she hit the point where they're like, we need gift cards. And she's like, you've got to be kidding me. Like that's what it's fun to do. But these people called her at work. They had her go into an ATM. They had her go into a Walgreens. And now they're telling her to buy gift cards. And that's the point where she's like, darn it. Like I got right.
Yeah.
But so I want to talk about this one scam in particular. There's actually two, but the one I have heard a number of people who are really being impacted by. So Aaron, pull up that video because I really think that this is crazy. You would get an email like this. Okay, that picture would be a picture of your house. Okay, so like on Google Earth, somebody went and typed in your address, found a picture of your house, and sent you an email. Okay, so I want to read this too. Aaron, can you pause that? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so here's like what this email will say. And tell me if you've heard of someone getting this, because I know 2 people have gotten this already. I've been keeping tabs on your pathetic life for a while now. It's simply your hard luck that I found your bad deeds. I gave in more time than I should investigating your data. So basically, they're making you think they're on your computer, they're watching what you're doing, your pathetic life. Like this stuff can be kind of scary if you don't realize that this is a scam. And keep in mind with things like Google Earth, with AI, with all the stuff we have these days, people can find stuff like this.
Everything.
Have you heard about anybody getting scammed with this?
Not this specific one until more recently, but I've heard of there's so many other ones, whether it's like text, email, but also people who sell things on Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace. They what had been happening is, you have things you can message. Yeah. You only need to message on Facebook. You don't really need to necessarily take it to give your personal number. But what the scammers do is ask you to text for a verification code, like a Google verification code, for example, which you're not supposed to give anyone.
No, because then they could get into your other stuff. Yeah. If anything, you had linked to that Google account.
But they make it seem like it's a verification code so they can see if you're a real person. And it's like a mind game because they're like, oh, you're like, well, maybe. Right. It makes you second guess yourself.
Right.
So that's something that I've been noticing.
And when somebody's threatening, oh, I've been watching you, I've been seeing what you're watching, what you're doing on your computer, X, Y, and Z, that's a scary kind of intrusive concept. So just know that if that email comes to you, that is a scam. And somebody was asking, how do they get people's phone numbers to call and text? Let me tell you, it's a lot easier than you think. There's a lot of ways. There's a lot of databases that you can search.
It's scary.
First off, there's a lot of breaches in data as it is. Okay. So if a scammer's got any access to that stuff, it is what it is. But chances are I could find a cell phone number for a number of people who are joining us right now through the different search engines that just exist out there, because our information is out there. Maybe you put it out for X, Y, and Z reason. It ends up in somebody's database. Like, you can find this information. So just know that this stuff is out there and don't fall for it. So Peter says, I've had emails like this with the Google Earth pic and I just delete the email. That's totally what you should be doing. Absolutely. The other one that I just wanted to tell people keeps happening is the Thruway Authority. So people are getting text messages saying it's from the Thruway Authority and saying that they owe tolls and like leading them to different links. Ignore. The Thruway Authority is not texting you, I promise. I can't tell you what they do if you don't have an Easy Pass. They send a letter to your house, because my husband gets them. He refuses to get the Easy Pass. So I get these letters to my house. They tell you that you owe tolls. And that's how they're not texting
They're not sending you a text.
And these are things that like you could see somebody falling for.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, let me just pay my toll right here online. Easy, convenient. And it's like, no, do not click it. Do not put information in.
Tina, she got the one about the Thruway tolls. Now, I've gotten some of them too. What are the ones I've gotten recently? UPS, like it'll say, you have a UPS package. That's a text.
Yep.
And it comes, or an email. I guess I think I've gotten them an email too.
Yeah, I've gotten both.
And it comes from a funky email address.
Yeah.
GYXR9PQ. And you're like, okay.
Obviously,
this
that's
is not coming from UPS.
But sometimes at a quick glance,
yeah.
you might not.
Or if sometimes they spoof a UPS address. Like it'll be like UPS, you know, and you got to watch for that kind of stuff. So that's another one. Just ignore that. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, the bank ones too. You get them from the banks, but they're not actually from the banks. They're coming from other people. My mom says she's seen that Pathetic Life one come from at least 5 people already. Let's see here. Linda said they had a scam of Joann's closing. They spell it Joe-Ann. If you click on the links, you get hacked. That's another great point, Linda. A lot of times they'll misspell the name of the stores, or if you're looking in the email, there's misspellings.
That's just, sometimes it's so hard to catch. You don't see it at a first glance.
Yeah. And I just feel like these are things, and maybe we know this here at Second Cup, but I like to also say, remind your elderly family members, remind grandma, right? That like, she might have a cell phone because maybe that's the best way to connect with her now. Remind her that like if a message comes and it says it's from the bank, just don't click it.
Don't worry.
You know,
you can call your bank, or there's other things you can do to
have
confirm.
her call you so you can be like, nope, that's not real. Don't worry about it. You know, somebody else had one. Which was one? Oh, Peter saying, or the one with the get named in someone's will, you will inherit X amount of dollars. Oh, Anita was the lucky winner of the Publishers Clearinghouse. Congratulations, Anita. I'm sure you were. And then, oh, hi, Adam. Adam, our morning reporter before you.
Oh, hello.
We miss you, Adam. We miss you. Everybody says hi. Hope you're doing well out in San Diego. Those panda bears were so cute. If you follow Adam, you might have seen some of the video he put up on that. Yeah, Peter, you're right. If it smells like a duck and it looks like a duck, it's more than likely a wolf in sheep's clothing, or a duck, if you will. And then Linda says, in an email, always look to see who sent that email. Usually sender has a crazy email address. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just something to definitely think about. Okay, the last thing I did just want to mention, holiday travel.
Oh.
When you go places for the holidays, do you drive usually, or are you flying?
More recently flying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this would impact you because we're already talking about holiday fairs. Can you believe it? Doesn't the time just fly?
Yeah.
You've already been here for a few weeks now.
Yeah, this is week 3.
Oh my goodness. It's so crazy. So just keep in mind, you need to start booking these holiday flights. Thanksgiving, Christmas, we know just how busy those times get. So I guess some people who are booking now have found holiday fares down from last year.
Really?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like that. But then they're saying don't wait much longer to book because
they're going up. They're going up.
Wow, Taylor, you knew without even reading.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? I mean, sometimes it's really difficult to work around those holiday weeks. So you just got to find
the dates that
work.
Yeah.
Maybe you're leaving on a Tuesday night. And
you can find the little tricks, the days that might be a little cheaper, but at least it's saving you something.
Yeah. And then you know what they also say? Morning flights, if you can get a morning flight, because they have they're much more likely to actually leave and arrive on time. Because as
it's starting the day, kind of.
As the day goes on, you know, if something happens here in Dallas and that's your plane when you get here in Buffalo and X, Y, and Z. Yeah. So they're saying just book for those morning flights. Anita says, I love to travel, but I avoid the holidays.
Smart.
That's
smart.
Yep. Guys, Thanks for being here this morning. Boy, we talked about a lot of stuff. Bills, Harvest House, scams, holiday travel. It's a busy day. That's what we do when Ed's not here. Taking the day to sleep in. He went to the game last night. And Aaron enjoyed the game too. So, all right, guys, I got to get back on TV. Thanks for being here, Taylor.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure as always. And we'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Have a great day.
Bye.